Hello, and I'm happy to see you again on my channel. And today I would like to answer one particular request from one member of audience. I was asked to run a comparison between the Lyrec Frida machine and the Crown. The Crown has been getting a lot of coverage in my recent videos because it's kind of giant killer. Been very inexpensive, relatively speaking, machine, and the machine from the 60s. It's been competing heads-on with much more modern, much more advanced machines, and that naturally invited further comparisons, specifically to Frida, which represents very different breed of tape recorders. As you know, this is very elegant, beautiful to look at, and joy to operate machine that reflects all the advances and progress made in this particular area of designing tape recorders. It reflects most of the most modern trends in the design. It is a modern machine, period. So the question is, how is it gonna compare sound-wise to the machine from essentially different era? So at first I had this comparison planned differently. I was going to also include Stellavox SP7 and Nagra Model 4S into this comparison. And there is good reason for that. For instance, this tape that you see now on Lyrec was actually recorded and produced using Nagra machine. And that's a very, very high statement because the recording is simply saying superb. Ditto for Stellavox. Stellavox been used by some lovers of tape recording, at least if not to produce, but to play wonderful, high-quality tapes. So it has certainly shown its capabilities, and it has tremendously good reputation in the field. So that was my initial plan. But then I decided not to muddy the water by bringing in more machines into this comparison, but instead to concentrate on just two recorders, but give them more chance to prove their capabilities. So today we're going to be running just Lyrec Frida and the Crown CX-822 side by side on two different pieces of music. And those two pieces are very, very different from each other. So hopefully they may be able to display different strengths or possibly weaknesses of those two fine, and I'm serious, fine machines. A few words about running such comparisons. It is very important, pretty much mandatory, to have their output levels perfectly adjusted. And if you are comparing very professional grade, high grade machines, that's usually not difficult to do because they tend to be calibrated to a particular level, pretty much standard plus 4 dB level, and you may have to make some minor adjustments, but nothing serious. However, Nagra and Stellavox are not capable of producing this type of output. Therefore, totally different way of calibrating the system was required. I had to run the same tape through all those four machines and get their relative volumes, and then come up with volume settings for my preamplifier that would produce the same loudness level. If you look at that yellow sticker, you will see some numbers, which shows that Lyrec has to be played at a level of 42 and crown at 36. That means 6 clicks of volume control on my preamp, which corresponds to 3 dB difference in output. And you can also see the numbers for SP7 and for 4S Nagra, and they're substantially higher because those machines' output level tend to be substantially lower. But today our job is going to be much easier because we only have 2 recorders to compare, so we only have to change volume setting between the 2 numbers. And here we have the first contender, the beautiful Lyrec Frida. As you might know, this system has very advanced tension control system. And to activate it properly, you need to press stop button. And you just saw the system establishing the tape tension. So at this point, the machine is ready. The tape counter is at 0, and we are basically ready to roll. As before, the recorder, video recorder, will be placed in the sweet spot of the room, facing the system, so you're not going to be able to see the machines running, but this way you will get the best possible sound. So this is the now familiar view of the crown tape recorder sitting right in front of us, and Lyrec is to the right. We're not going to be able to see it, but such is life. At least you will get the best chance to compare the sounds. And concentrate on the sound, not on the machine spinning its reels. And with that much out of the way, let's hear for the first piece of music as played by Frida. So that was Frida, and now let us move the tape to crown and see how well it does with this sound. So that was the voice of the Crown CX-822. I think both machines did very good job. I think I know where my heart is at this moment, but I'll reserve my comments until we have more discussions. And now let me treat you to an absolutely fantastic vocal and piano duet recorded by International Phonograph Incorporated. This is just absolutely superb recording.
Reaching for the Moon. The moon and you appear to be so near and yet so far from me, and here am I on a night in June, reaching for the moon and you. I wonder if we will ever meet. My song of love is incomplete. I'm just the words looking for the tune, reaching for the moon and you. I wonder if we will ever meet. My song of love is incomplete. I'm just the words looking for the tune, reaching for the moon and you.
I think this was superb. So let's now move the tape to Crown.
Reaching for the Moon. the moon and you appear to be so near and yet so far from me. And here am I on a night in June, reaching for the moon and you. I wonder if we will ever meet. My song of love is incomplete. I'm just the words looking for the tune, reaching for the moon and you. I wonder if we will ever meet. My song of love is incomplete. I'm just the words looking for the tune, reaching for the moon and you.
This is so beautiful. I don't want to stop. So let's roll through another song.
It's too hot for words. Take 2.5. It's too hot for words. Why bother with conversation? Don't let's talk or even walk if you wanna make love, okay? It's too hot for words. There's nothing like relaxation. Can't ignore this temperature, but if you wanna make love, okay, let's find a cozy nook beside a babbling brook. Let's find a shady tree, let the lovebirds talk for you and me. 'Cause it's much too hot for words. Why bother with conversation? Goodness knows my heart is closed. All it dares to say, all it cares to say, it's too hot for words. Let's find a cozy nook beside a babbling brook. Let's find a shady tree, let the lovebirds talk for you and me. Ooh, baby, it's too hot for words. Why bother with conversation? Goodness knows my heart is closed. All it dares to say, all it cares to say, it's too
A few words here about running such comparisons, and it's difficult. There are so many steps you have to take, switching interconnects, switching sources, adjusting volumes, and so on, that you're almost guaranteed to make some mistakes. And there have been some very minor hiccups along the way. I think I recovered from them nicely, but please, I mean, it happens. It is something that requires a lot of attention, and when you are absorbed in such a beautiful music, it's very easy to forget some minor adjustment. But hopefully it still gave you a very good idea about those two very fine units, their sound characteristics. Please remember, so far all our comparisons been done using the internal preamplifier circuits of the particular tape machines. And realistically speaking, the sound quality takes different dimension when you start using external head preamps. So that's what I've been using mostly when I want to listen to my music. I have several of those preamps in the system, and they share some common design, but they are still differ from each other. So perhaps our next comparison we could do between, let's say, two machines using the same head preamp. For example, I have the Studer A80 and Otari MTR12. They are connected through the switch to the same head preamp. And perhaps that would be interesting test for the next round. So please let me know if you would be interested in this type of comparison. I've done it myself already, and I think I know the result. But I would be very, very curious to hear your reaction as well. So that's it for today, and thank you very much for coming back. Hope to see you next time. Hopefully we'll have something interesting for you next time. Until then, please stay well.